I saw his daughter who like kind of lit up, and I was like, wait, do you want to come do this with me? And she was like, yeah. So we
Oh,
cartwheel together, and I was like, oh, this is a community activity. Like, it's a memory I can have with people that I'm traveling with. So now, yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. This is so fun. You're always fun to chat with. Yeah, so I'm Faith. I'm a digital nomad and freelancer. I mostly work on writing and community projects. And right now, I am a co founder for Digital Nomads USA, which is the number one community and resources for nomads travel in the US. And then I also am the head of community over at Pangea, which is a social travel app. And then I also work on my own freelance writing projects.
oh wow. I love it. I love it. And Faith, if we rewind just a little bit, when did the bug of travel spark in you and how did you like decide, okay, I want to travel the world, start like knowing places. When did that happen?
Yeah. So I got to travel a bit when I was younger around the US to the Caribbean, things like that. And so I always loved it, but I think it was probably in college for me before I went to university. I would always ask people, okay, what's one thing you didn't do in college that you wish you did? And everyone always said, study abroad. I wish I'd studied abroad. I should have studied abroad because, when you're in school, it's kind of the one time where like I guess when you start working full time corporate
Yeah,
thing, you don't have that chunk of time. You can't go somewhere for
true.
2 months at a time. And like the way with the US, if you some people only get 2 weeks of vacation and like that's just not the same. And if you use it all at one
True.
time, like you're a bit limited. um,
Yes.
so I was like, okay, I must study abroad. It's got to happen. I went to all the panels, the information sessions, and then COVID hit, and nobody can go anywhere. So that kind of put a wrench into my plans. I still wanted an abroad experience. So after I graduated, I'd never been to Europe. I wanted to go to Europe, so I joined a like 10-day group trip. So, you travel over there solo, but then you get there, you have a group of people you're exploring with, and, you make friends that way. So we hopped around really quick from, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Austria, all in 10 days, which is like classic American going abroad. And, but we hit all these tourist spots, and I came back home and I was like, I still want this immersive experience. I want to experience a place, get to know the culture, the
Yeah,
people, really feel the community and really get to know the place versus just hitting it and leaving, checking a box kind of thing.
yeah.
So I was always looking at opportunities, but fresh out of college, I'm looking on a budget, and
Yeah.
so I kept looking for volunteer opportunities, and I would explore world packers where you volunteer in exchange for accommodation, food, these things. But a lot of them were with hostels, and so um, I was like, well, there's got to be something that's more, remote work friendly,
Mhm.
that kind of lifestyle. That's how I found co-livings. And then I found the
Mhm.
opportunity to go volunteer with Nomadico, a co-living. Um,
Wow.
and so that's kind of how that shifted. So the travel bug never left. It's still very much going. And, but it evolved over time. And I would watch videos of the digital nomad lifestyle online, and it always inspired me, and I wanted to figure out how to do it. And then finding that opportunity with Nomadico was just kind of my intro into the lifestyle.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that part of your story. Like you started like that. To me, co-living is a new concept. Also, I was sharing with you that I'm learning a lot of travel concepts. Co-living is also one that I didn't know. I'm learning, but I think it's very cool. And you just found the opportunity, and that's how it sparked everything
Yeah,
by.
that's how I started my whole nomad journey. I went to volunteer with them, and it was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot, see what happens, and see if I actually like the lifestyle, and then I can make decisions from there. But it was one of those things where I ended up going to Medellín, Colombia, and I got down there, immediately met people that I resonated with about, life and travel and work. And
Yeah.
that was like, oh yeah, this is it.
I found my place. I
I
love
found
it.
I want more of this.
Yes. And it's so true what you said. Like, I think that it's when we start traveling, we just want to go everywhere and just even when we are not really knowing the place, and it's later than we just realize, okay, I want to do this, but in a more slower pace that I can really know the place where I am and learn, right? How would you describe your way of traveling today?
Today, honestly, all of my nomadic travel has kind of been based on opportunity. So I started out volunteering with Nomadico, and then that kind of guided a lot of my travels. So I ended up spending 3 months in Colombia, and I came back. I do it, I guess, in a part-time style nomad. And so I
Mm-hmm.
travel for a few months at a time, and then I try to balance that, staying connected with friends and family at home and still being a
Okay.
present member of that community, as well as being a part of the community that I also love abroad. So that's kind of
Mhm.
the balance I have there of my travel style.
I like it. Yes, it's true. I I think I am like in the search of where my like stable community is, or where what to call home. Like it's always family and friends, but where I call home, I'm still in that search of where that is. It's very, very cool how we're finding that balance. But
Yeah, and it's
traveling,
interesting because, like, where I grew up, I lived in the same house my entire life, in the same, literally on the same street, like, and so that's always been home to me. And then kind of in this journey, home changes, and it's more like where my family is feels like
yeah,
home. There's also places around the world that I feel like my best self, and I feel so truly at my core, this is me.
yeah.
And I think that is a sense of home as well.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And I want to do this question, although you kind of already answered, but like everyone says, like traveling is transformational. Do you
Yeah.
feel that way about traveling? And do you have like a moment, maybe like in a specific time that you remember that you said like this changed my perspective about something, or something like really impact directly my life, maybe?
Yeah, 100%. I think that traveling is the fastest route to personal growth you can have,
Mhm.
especially when you go somewhere where you're unfamiliar with the country, the people, the language, and it's just like so much challenge at once that you don't have when you stay in your comfort place. And the places and have lived for a long time or something. And so I
Yeah,
think you just exponentially grow on the inside because you face
true.
so much challenge. And for me, like when I first got to Medellin, I didn't know anyone. I had never been there. I don't speak fluent Spanish, and everything
Mhm.
you ever hear about Medellin is that it's dangerous. And
Mm.
so for the first, 2 weeks, it took a lot for me to get out of the place I was living, go walk down the street, go live daily life, just because I was nervous. And so it was
Yeah,
really cool to see, even in the span of 1 month, how I went from being scared and so uncomfortable, experiencing a lot of challenge
amazing.
mentally and physically. And then 3 weeks later, my parents come to visit, and I'm the translator in the situation,
I know
bringing them
it.
around all these places that I love, and it's just like so cool to see that. And then even now that I've been living this way for 2 years, I still get nervous in the airport going to a new place.
Me too.
That's never going to change, I think. And it's like excited
Yes,
nervous.
yes, yes, yes. A mix of feelings, yes.
But even when I went to Cape Town 2 months ago, I still was like nervous. I don't know what to expect in a place I haven't been before.
Yes.
Uh, but that's part of the fun. And I think now my mindset has shifted where it's like you can't listen to what people who have never been to a place say about it.
Yeah.
Um, and everyone that I know that has been a repeat summer nomad in Cape Town absolutely loves it. There's a reason they've come back 4 or 6 years in a row. And so it's like focusing on these things. But I mean, even there, I can look back and see 2 months ago how I was feeling in the place, getting to know it, not knowing much about it, not knowing many people, versus the end of it where I had like made so many friends and it was just such a great
Yes.
experience. And so I really love looking and reflecting on these things.
I love it. And I love how you became the Medellin guide for your parents. I love that, yes. So after all these things that you went through, like after traveling and all those things that you've seen and experienced, how would you, if you have to choose 3 words to describe faith today, which 3 words would you choose?
Ooh. 3 words. I guess I would say adventurous, opportunity, and community.
I love that. Adventure, opportunity, and community.
Yeah.
Opportunity, why? In the sense of like,
Opportunity, because I think all of my like nomad travel honestly is based on the opportunity, and that's kind of guided where I've gone and the people that are gonna in the community there versus being like,
mhm.
yeah, I really want to go to Thailand and I just go there. It's been like, oh, there's a nomad festival in Bulgaria. Oh, I can go be a community manager in Bulgaria. I should go there.
I love that. Yes, like open to everything that comes.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, instead of having a bucket list now, I mean, there's still experiences I really want to have, but I think instead of trying to check off these destinations, it's more like, oh, there's going to be this community there. I want to be part of that.
It's amazing. I like that. I think that's very interesting to be open to where that call comes from and just go with the flow. I
Yeah.
like that. I need to apply that. Same. I'm going to copy you. So let you said that you are like part-time a digital nomad, a part-time digital nomad today. Yeah. How does this like lifestyle feel for you? Like the change between a normal life and being a digital nomad. How did you lead that process?
Yeah, I think it's an ongoing, you're always figuring something out. And so I think accepting
Mhm.
that you're forever figuring out whatever life stage you're in kind of helps you be like, oh, okay, it's okay. Because it's like, the nomad life, when I go abroad, um, all the people that I meet, other digital nomads, are so well traveled and like everyone's living this lifestyle, and I'm like another one of them. And versus at home, no one really talks about the lifestyle, and it's like I'm
Yeah.
different in a way that's like interesting, but I get a lot of comments of, well, I could never do what you're doing, or like, oh, I wish I did that. And it's good, like you literally can. And I want to like squeeze them.
Yes.
um, but instead, there's just a route that has been instilled into you to take. And
Mhm.
so majority of people are on this path. Um, and I think more and more people are starting to be like, oh, wait, I don't want to sit in someone else's four walls forever. I do want to go explore. And I'm like, do it. Like, now's the time. Like, um,
Yes.
and so, yeah, I think it's an interesting balance. And, I definitely, what you're doing is a huge part of showing different ways people can travel based on their life
Mhm.
circumstance, what they desire personally, professionally. Like, these things are still possible while traveling. So I think that the work you're doing is really important.
At some point, people always ask, like, oh, you're doing this, I would love to do it too, and everything. But there is also one thing that when you are doing it, you realize that, I mean, what we share normally or what we see in social media is the rainbows and roses, right? Which
Yeah.
it is like this. I mean, it is to me, it's very nice. It's a life that I enjoy, but it also comes with challenges because it's life after all, right? It has both sides. What would you say so far from your experience have been like one challenge or lesson from this journey, and one thing that you feel like very proud of
I guess
yourself of?
there's a lot of lessons. And I think self-awareness is huge in the lifestyle. And so, I've met a lot in the beginning of my journey. I thought it was super interesting. A lot of people I met didn't have a strong relationship with their family or their faith or
Yeah.
things like that. And so I've done a lot of learning from other people, because honestly, the nomad community is people I'm spending a lot of time with usually are 30 plus, and I'm 25. When I started, I was 23. So I've been the youngest
Mhm.
in the room most of the
Yeah.
time. So I love to learn from people who are in my next life stage.
Yeah.
um, to hear, things they wish they did differently, things that they have learned through their journey that I can take and be like, oh, okay, I see this in my present experience. What can I do about it? So that's kind of how I do the part-time nomad thing, because I do have a super strong relationship with my family and my friends, and I want to be a present member of that. And so, sometimes I really have to be aware of, am I being selfish in this um decision, or am I still making sure they feel like a priority and feel like I'm present when
Mhm.
I'm there? So it's like, okay, I base my travels around, I want to be home at Christmas. That's an important time. All my family's together. So every
Mhm.
year I prioritize, I'm going to get home for Christmas. And then it's kind of going through, okay, what are other parts of the year that are important to my family and balancing that. But at the same time, my family is so supportive of everything that I'm doing, and
Mhm.
it's incredible. And they always are like, releasing me from feeling guilt of not being there,
Yeah.
which is helpful. But also, I worry that, maybe they still want me to be there, and I know
Mhm.
that, so I want to be there for them.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a mental challenge I'm always like thinking about and trying to be conscious of. And then sometimes it can be hard being away. You get homesick no matter how much you love the place. You
Yeah.
see your friends doing something or your family doing something. You're like, oh man, like I wish I was even just at the dinner table to chat with them, or wish they were here seeing what I'm seeing with my eyes right now, like
Yeah.
these moments. But one thing on the other end that I'm like really proud of is I didn't know this lifestyle was attainable. And I in the journey of going to Medellin, I had to leave my job to pursue the volunteer opportunity. So in
Mhm.
that 3 months that I was there, I worked for a month with my company, and then I had to leave and become a freelancer. And I think the whole last 2-year journey of freelancing has taught me so much about myself and about business and all these things. And I feel like now I'm at a point where I feel a lot more confident in the things that I'm doing. Whereas
Yeah.
in the beginning, I was just a ball of stress. And that first year, honestly, was a lot of stress. And,
Yeah.
I haven't felt I never experienced like the burnout and things in corporate world, but I did in my first year of freelancing. And so it's been really rewarding to go through those down times and then also see the up times and kind of learn that
Mhm.
you have to experience the challenges and the down times to appreciate when you're
True.
on the top of the mountain. So yeah, I feel like I've definitely chilled out a bit in this journey and accepted things that come and the lessons learned, and I'm able to apply them and go forward. So I don't know. It's been a lot of
Mhm.
lessons. Um, but I'm thankful to be like a part of this community and just keep going, keep building relationships, and
Yeah.
until the next opportunity falls.
I love it, and I can see myself even when the age difference and everything. I can see myself in your story because for different reasons, maybe it's tough to say, okay, I'm going to be away like for a long period or a long time, and should I like leave my family or my place, for that long, or should I just travel maybe 15 days and come back? Like you get in your head for a lot of reasons, right? And then I guess in my how I try to convince myself that it was a good call, and if I wanted to do it, I should. it was the saying, okay, everything is good, like you feel good, you're healthy, like your family is good, is healthy too. Like this is the moment because you don't know what can happen tomorrow, right? So this is the right moment to do the things and to go for it. So I was just listening to your story and I was like, it's so crazy because I felt the same, right? And yeah, but I think that it's brave to live your life in your own terms. And it's also scary because we've been told that we need to follow some rules to live
Mm.
life, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
Yeah, I saw this thing not too long ago that was like, if the path is clear, you're following somebody else's footsteps.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
I was
Yes.
like, ooh, I like this. I don't want to be on somebody else's path. um,
Yes.
so when you feel unclear and you're not sure what's next, like that just means you're on your own path, and that's exactly where you should be. So I've just that's like stuck with me the past few weeks ever since I saw it.
I like it. Yes. That's some quotes that you need to stick on your
Yeah,
laptop, right? Like every time you open it or you want it. I love it. Wait,
yeah,
I want to talk, please, about the cartwheel. I don't know if call it a tradition. Can I call it a tradition? A
yeah,
cartwheel.
yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about it, please? How did
Yes,
it
of
start?
course.
Everything.
So I guess honestly, I had a roommate when I before I started nomading, and one day she showed me this video of this guy who would do this dance. And he made like compilations of these videos of him doing this dance. And then he would travel and he would ask people to do it with him. And I like thought like, oh, that'd be pretty cool to do. And then I honestly, like, even several years ago, even I found a video from 10 years ago of me doing a cartwheel. Uh, this was before I knew anything. And and I guess I just have done cartwheels just like for fun as like a goofy thing sometimes, like whatever. And so I had a video from Medellín where I did a cartwheel when I was in like Communitrace or something. And then from there, I just was like, you know what? Maybe I just take a cartwheel video everywhere I visit. It'd be cool to like put them together and have this tradition and like, my own style of souvenir from each place. And then when I was in Mallorca, I was in Spain. One of my favorite things traveling is like taking photos for other people, and that way they're all in the photo.
Ooh,
There's a dad and his two kids, and he was taking a photo of them, and I was like, oh, like, do you want one together? He was like, yeah. So I took it for him, and then he was like, oh, do you want a photo? And I was like, I still hadn't gotten my Mallorca cartwheel at that point, and I was like, ooh, will you take a video for me?
I
And
know
then I
that.
cartwheeled, and did it. I finished and I saw his daughter who like kind of lit up, and I was like, wait, do you want to come do this with me? And she was like, yeah. So we
Oh,
cartwheel together, and I was like, oh, this is a community activity. Like it's a memory I can have with people that I'm traveling with. So now ever since then I try to get people I'm with to cartwheel with me.
I love it. I like when I saw your photos, thought that it was like magnificent, like genius. I love it. Yes. And it's also like a fun way to just connect with people
Yeah,
without words.
all the memories from doing the cartwheels. Like last summer, we took a weekend trip to Greece from Bulgaria,
Yeah.
and me and my friend cartwheeled on this like floaty thing on the water. And then it's like one of the ones from South Africa. We were on safari, and at the camp, we took like you have the midday break, so we were just by the
Yeah.
pool. There were all these young kids at the pool, and I had told people on the safari, like, hey, I have this tradition, y'all got to do it with me. And then at the pool, I was like, ooh, I wonder if these kids can cartwheel. So I asked them, and then we have a video with them doing a cartwheel. It was like two of us from the safari, and then these like kids.
That's
uh,
amazing.
so it's just memories like that you never forget. And so then, yeah, usually I'll incorporate them into posts about the place, and then at the end of the year, I'll put them all together from the year.
I love it. Please keep doing it because I want to be on your on your cartwheel videos. I want to join your cartwheel challenge.
Yeah,
Uh,
so we'll have to meet up somewhere, and then we can do it together.
yes, yes, please. So keep doing it. Don't stop.
Of course
Um, you know that traveling my way, what got me inspired to start doing these coffee chats, it's connections, how we connect with people, especially when we are traveling. So I'm just curious in your own journey, how these connections and community have looked like for you
not.
during your time.
I guess my journey kind of started with community because I went to be a community manager for Nomadico in Medellín. And so then that kind of sparked like, oh, I've just kind of traveled with community ever since for the most part because I've made connections there. And then like I love the co-living space because, you show up to a place, you immediately have new best friends to go explore the place
Yeah.
with. And I think you can get integrated so much faster versus being by yourself and then you have to find community, find everything else, get set up, try to figure out working at the same time and all of these things. So yeah, so then all of my travel has really been based on community because I went from Medellin
Mhm.
as a community manager, came back to the States, moved out of where I was living, and then went off to
Mhm.
Spain to be a community manager there as well.
Ah.
And so I think South Africa was probably the first place. The going there was still based on the community for Nomad Week with Pangea, but at the same time, it was the first time I, got my own Airbnb or a place to stay and kind of had my own life and then also being involved in Nomad Week and just getting plugged into that
Mhm.
community and experiencing it like
Yeah.
traditional nomad life.
I love it. Yes. To make like community became like very, it's not that it wasn't important before, but I just think that it's so easy to connect with people when they are traveling. I feel like people are more open and just, like wanting to connect with each other. So
100%. I think it's so much easier to make friends abroad with a bunch of other solo
yeah,
travelers that want to make friends than it is in a community where everybody
exactly.
knows each other, has their people, and things like that. And I guess, you know, when you have something so deep into your who you are and what you
Yeah,
love, it doesn't really matter anything else about the person, where they're from, what their political
exactly.
stance or beliefs are. Like we have something so
Exactly.
deep that connects us. And I think I've just experienced so much more openness, no matter, what it is that I believe or conversations we have, it's more understanding than it is judgmental. Um, and and yeah, it's like, oh, we're just happy to chat. Like, oh, you motorbikes through Vietnam? I haven't even been to Vietnam, but that's so sick. Like, I love it. And just hearing about other cultures, how they grew up, what they experienced. I think people are so interesting, and I
hmm
love learning about them, and what makes them, what they like in a place, even where they
Yes.
recommend going next. These things.
Yes, exactly. And they are also curious about learning about you. So that makes the conversation easy and it flows because
Yeah,
they like sharing about them, but they are also curious about you. So it just flows so naturally that I love it so much. Faith, if your life were a book, how would you call this chapter?
this chapter, I think we're, in a turning point right now. I don't know exactly where that path is going. It's not defined. But I
Yeah.
feel like, change is coming. And I'm open to whatever that looks like, and I'm excited to explore it. Um, and and yeah, it should be an interesting rest of the year.
I love that. Yes, open to what's coming. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We're at the dramatic thing you didn't expect. I think is coming.
I love that. Okay. And now, please, can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Yeah. So a few months ago, we launched Digital Nomads USA. Our goal
Yeah.
is to be the number one resource for nomad travel in the US. What I realized is abroad, I easily find like all these remote work communities and people that are also traveling, working remotely. And the community is so awesome to experience there. But as a part time nomad, when I come back to the US, I have no idea where everyone's hanging out. I have no idea where the remote work people are, if there's digital nomads around, if there's other people living this lifestyle, or even other freelancers that don't have an office to go to connect with.
Yeah.
And it's something I truly miss, is just having that understanding of how I live, I guess, maybe having those people to resonate with about these things that I find abroad, but
Yeah.
it's just not as common in the US. However, there's only 40 million nomads worldwide, and 18 million of them are from the US. And so
Wow.
it's like, we're somewhere.
Yeah.
And so the goal is to create a community in the US. We're spread out, so it'll be by city and these things, but also welcoming people from other countries to come figure out, okay, where should I go? How do I explore? Where do I stay? Where do I find people? And
Yeah.
creating resources for this, because, whether or not people feel welcome to the US is, circumstantial. But we want to create a welcoming space for people who want to explore it and
Mhm.
help them along that path. So that's the goal there. And so it's exciting. We're still pretty much launching and learning and evolving. So more to come on this, but yeah, in the future, we'd love to be able to, host workations, give a scholarship to someone from abroad to come be a part of it, experience the US. And
Yeah.
that's a big, big goal of ours.
And I love how you are thinking about like bringing all these nomads together and also help nomads from other countries, other places to come and just feel more like home, maybe to find how to explore the US in a way that feels more, in a more warm way, maybe, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we've gotten really good feedback. I mean, some people now are talking more about wanting to have a home base and having a place they can know they can come back to easily in the US, especially if they're trying to be around family, come back for holidays, these like and stuff like that. Um, And so I've talked to people who are like, oh, yeah, I'm going to base myself in Denver or somewhere in Florida or other places around the country. So I think that could be interesting, maybe potentially turn into something where we can do like house sharing or house swapping,
I
and,
love that.
make it more budget friendly, I guess, to then come to the US
Mhm.
for those people. Or I don't know. There's a lot of different things that can come from it. So I'm excited.
I love it, and I know that it's still the idea is developing. But do you like have already an idea of how would people can help, or who would you like to connect with to help this happen?
Yeah, for sure. If there's anyone that has specific experience in a place that wants to help us work on a city guide for that place, and why it's good for
Anna.
nomads, what communities they can get involved in there, and how to meet people, where to stay, what coffee shops to work from. So we're working on some of these guides for different cities.
Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, to kind of help people figure out where they want to go based on, who the place is good for. If you want to be in a warmer place or somewhere by the beach versus a very city environment. So yeah, anyone that has experience in a place, or if they're like, hey, I just want to get involved, I'm really good at social media, very welcoming to social media writers, people who just want to help us work on the idea or partner with us to get in front of digital
yeah,
nomads. Yeah, we're very open to collaborating.
I like that. Okay, hope a lot of people listen to this and just enjoy collaborate. And also keep me posted because I want to also add it to the traveling my way directory and be all
Yeah,
connected. Be all connected. Okay, so we were talking about starting this nomadic life and like hesitating or people coming to you and telling you, oh, I would like to live this life, and they actually can. But they have the same doubts maybe that you and I had when we started, right? Like and like crossing those barriers or those mental things that we have is not that easy. So do you have like one piece of advice to?
Yeah, my biggest piece of advice is to put yourself in a room full of people who are living the life you want to live.
I love that.
And that's kind of how it was for me when I went to Medellin. Everyone in the co-living was digital nomad, and I was like, I want to do more of this, and I got to learn from them. And then even going to nomad festivals, there's a lot of
Mhm.
people that go to there. You don't have to be a nomad. There's a lot of people who aren't, and that are just there to learn, just there to be inspired. Because I think when you get into that environment, you are so inspired. You leave like on fire with all these ideas and inspiration versus when you're sitting at home, no one around you is doing this. You don't know where to start, what to do. You don't think it's possible because no one's doing it.
Yeah,
And so all you know is what you're around. So you have to sometimes choose to be in that room. And even if you feel uncomfortable, it's so worth it at the end of the day.
I love the advice. Yes, so true. I love what you say, like getting in a room with the people who are already living the life that you want. That maybe it feels like sometimes it's like, yeah, you should, but you don't think about it when you are like, because you're always thinking about like the abstract way. I don't know how to explain it, but you're like thinking about an idea or ideas, but getting in a room with people who are doing it is the most, I don't know, the way that you can touch that aspiration that you're having. I love
Yeah, and then you get to
that.
hear their journey, their challenges, and then you can kind of apply that, okay, how can I avoid these challenges? I'll experience new ones that I can then share with other people that they can then learn from. Because, and I guess
Yeah.
for me, it was like, I'm working in this corporate job, but when I look around at everyone who's 10 steps ahead of me, I don't want to live their life. I don't, I don't think they want to live their life.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want to choose something different. And then when I go and like Nomad Week in Cape Town in January, I was like, yeah, this is a huge reminder for me of exactly why I chose this, exactly who I love spending my time with and spending my
Yeah.
time. I want to keep going. So even sometimes as a nomad, you get those reminders, and it's like, yeah, this is why I do this.
Yes. I love it. Any dreams, goals for this year for Faith?
Definitely lots of dreams, lots of goals. Like I feel like there's a big change coming, and I am kind of adjusting my goals to be around that. But nomadically, I haven't touched Asian soil yet, and I would like to later this year. One of my goals is to go somewhere in Asia, whether it be Vietnam or Kyrgyzstan, who knows. um, yeah, I'd like to make my way over there.
I love that. Yes. I also have that in my wish list. I don't know if I want to call it bucket list anymore because it sounds weird. I'm going to say wish list. Like I really want to go to Asia and Africa. I love it. I love it so so much. Thank you. I
Thank you so
for this
much. This is so
conversation.
fun, and it's been so great to meet you and chat with you. Really loved it.